Good evening, the beautiful Philippine Islands, and we're back here tonight, Wednesday, 7 p.m., to our program entitled the Street Economics Convergence. We are graced tonight by the presence of no less than the chairman of the LaRouche Society of the Philippines. And here with us is our colleague and a good friend, Butch Valdes. And we would like to welcome you, Butch, to the program. I know you already have been into the mainstream of discussion in economics, because the first time we met was in the program of Tinamon San Palma.
That's right.
When you were been discussing about this global economic crisis. I think in the country, you're the first, actually, who had talked about it. I was a witness to that, because we were together, I think, 2007.
That's right.
And the incident had break up 2008. So that's a year before the global economic crisis. Now, the design tonight, Boots, is last week we have talked to Professor Ed Villegas, the chair of the Ibon Foundation, to talk about the Filipino agenda of the next president in the country. But previous to that, we have Gary Olivar, who had talked about the economic legacy of the president, GMA. So tonight, we would like to give the audience a brief lecture on your topic, which is the global economic crisis, and how this country should respond to it, no less than the next president of this country. Because I think the old tools must be replaced by new tools. And it's only the guy who knows it who could tell them what to do. And, sir, good evening po.
Good
So
evening,
welcome to the
good
show,
evening,
sir.
Ernie, and good evening to all the televiewers. And I'd like to congratulate you on your on a brand new program.
Yes, sir.
I understand that I'm only the third guest that you have, and which is going on once a week.
No
No?
problem.
So thank you for having me, and I'm
sir.
privileged.
Yes, sir. So I think they would be happy to hear from you. Like, because I remember, if I remember it very clearly, that was after the SONA of the president, 2007, when she talked about the mega infrastructure program of her government. And you were requested by Tinamon San Palma with me to grace her show. And that was the topic that you have presented.
That's right.
Can you give the country a glimpse of how we will be able, and then you're talking about the next wave coming in. It could
That's
be
right.
more difficult from where we are now.
Right. Well, first of all, let's put it in context. Prior to 2007, myself, here in the Philippines, and I don't yet know if there was anybody else that was forecasting a process that was going to hit the whole world, which we termed a global financial systemic crisis. Okay? And if the right steps were not taken, the financial system as we have it, which is the floating exchange rate system, was going to collapse. And a collapsed financial system, which will mean a condition of hyperinflationary situation, very similar to what had happened to Germany in 1923. Hyperinflation means everybody started printing and printing and printing their currencies uncontrolled, so the prices of goods went skyrocketing and people just plain starved to death. Now, the actual manifestation, the kumbaga sa cancer, kung kailan lumabas yung mga source, actually yung cancer matagal nang nasa loob at hindi pa nanonotice nung mga ekonomista, But when it actually erupted, was 2007. If you remember, 2007 was the period, the second half of the 2007 was the period where Wall Street collapsed. And when Wall Street collapsed, you had all of these investors and hedge funds blowing up, and everybody was in a fix as to what was going on. No? And many economists, even at the time in the second half of 2007, were saying, no, this is just a adjustment. No, this is just a condition of up and down and part of a cycle and so on and so forth, to assuage the fears of the investors from withdrawing all of their investments from Wall Street. Well, we were saying, no, this is it. This is the beginning
I remember
of the end. Okay, so 2007, Wall Street and hedge funds collapsed, and we were saying towards the end of 2007, I was in many interviews and also in my radio show, I was saying that the next step will be the collapse of the big banks. And so 2008, we saw the collapse of all the way up to 2009, we saw the collapse of AIG, Lehman Brothers, and all of these other banks and losses of billions of dollars. And investments made through these big banks like Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch, and AIG, right? And then after that, we said the next that will go will be sovereign defaults. Countries themselves will no longer be able to pay their debt. And soon enough, it happened. You have Dubai. Dubai, is a picture of affluence, right? It has the tallest building. It has a beautiful landscape and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, they can't pay their debt. And they had to be rescued. In quotes, rescued, but they're not really rescued. And subsequent to that, you have Greece, you have, Spain is already about to declare their bankruptcy. You've got Portugal, you've got Ireland, you've got Italy, and many other countries that will be going down in a domino effect. Together with, of course, the collapse of the major economy of the world, which is the United States of America.
Okay, Boots, that's well taken. But the next leadership in the country, even the way the campaign is being handled by them, never talk about this very important terrain that they will, navigate the country in their leadership.
That's right.
In this new terrain, but I have not heard anything from them.
It's pretty sad, isn't it, Ernie?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
That you have leaders who present themselves as the next president of 95 million people. And it seems that they don't know about the so-called financial systemic collapse. Probably they're the only ones that who don't know about it. No?
Listen to the UP School of Economics, so they should change perspective now.
This is the problem. They probably are being advised by the so-called economists from the different universities. And these economists from the different universities will not dare want to talk about this, right? Because they've never talked about it before, right? And they cannot claim any kind of credence, since they did not forecast it, right?
But the reality is just right there.
It's there. It's staring us in the face, and we feel it. Our people, the 95 million people, are starting to feel it.
Right.
Our whole economy, and many in the leadership are starting to feel it. But they can't talk about it because they don't know what to do. That is my feeling. And it's sad when you know that the United States is in a process of collapse, right? Many people, in about a year and a half, 5 million people have lost their homes. And about 9.5 million people have lost their jobs in just 1 year and a half.
5 million people
have lost their homes.
And 9 million lost their jobs.
You can look at, you go to the United States and there are major areas in California, in all parts of the United States, well, they call it tent city. These are people who have lost their homes, and have had to live in tents or inside their cars, or whatever else that they can find, because they're bankrupt. And